So the Colts have fever players out. Sophie was not there, but they give everyone jerseys. And Caitlin Clark, grew up in Iowa, is a Chiefs fan, refused to wear the Colts jersey. She just held it up like this. And she hasn't gone out and said, like, I didn't do it because I'm a Chiefs fan, but the internet was like, she's a real one.
I love it.
And it's just like,
Sophie Cunningham just dropped an interview that has everyone buzzing, from cussing out leadership to calling out the league, and now tossing in some spicy takes about Caitlin Clark. This one's wild. Sophie didn't hold back for a single second. Honestly, it's the most real we've heard from anyone in months. Do you think Sophie's being genuine or just stirring the pot again? All right, let's dive into this, because Sophie Cunningham's latest interview was pure gold. By the way, are you watching the finals?
I guess watched,
no.
Hell no. I haven't watched a lick of the WNBA. I don't know what's going on. I talked to my teammates like the day that we did exit interviews and all of that. And I haven't, I need a cleanse. Like, I'm booking vacations. Wes, we need to go on a vacation and do a podcast.
Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. Sophie has never been afraid to speak her mind. Whether it's roasting her own team, calling out the WNBA front office, or casually swearing mid-interview, Sophie always finds a way to say exactly what everyone else is too scared to. But this time, she went off about everything.
I can win and roam it. Like, I can be like, I'm here. They brought, I'll put this shit on. Her not doing that is so incredible. I hope she knows how awesome that was.
You sent it yesterday, and I was like I'm not surprised by it. I'm not, because you know what? Everyone's always trying to get her to wear something or do something, and her to be.
The setting was simple. Sophie hopped on the Show Me Something podcast back home in Missouri, sipping coffee from a mug and talking like she didn't care who was listening. No media filter, no PR tone, just Sophie being Sophie. And somehow, in between stories about horses, the weather, and baby fever, she managed to touch on nearly every WNBA headline making noise, especially Caitlin Clark, SO. Let's start with that part first. You know how the Indianapolis Colts recently invited Indiana Fever players to a game? Everyone got Colts jerseys. Nice little PR move, right? Except Caitlin Clark wasn't playing along. She grew up in Iowa, and she's a massive Chiefs fan. So, when they handed her a Colts jersey, she didn't put it on. She just held it up. That's it. No wearing it, no forced smile, just a silent, "Yeah, thanks, but I'm good."
The Colts have fever players out. Sophie was not there, but they give everyone jerseys. And Caitlin Clark, grew up in Iowa, is a Chiefs fan, refused to wear the Colts jersey. She just held it up like this. And she hasn't gone out and said, I didn't do it because I'm a Chiefs fan, but the internet was like, she's a real one.
I love it.
And it's just it's so good. So good.
And then the internet went nuts. Fans were calling Caitlin Clark a real one, praising her for staying loyal, while memes flew across Twitter like confetti. That's when Sophie chimed in, and her reaction was exactly what you'd expect. She said straight up, "That was awesome. I hope Caitlin knows how cool that was." Then she laughed and added, "I'm not even surprised by it." Classic Sophie. Keep in mind, Sophie wasn't even at that game. She said she got the hell out of there before the event. But when she saw the clip online, she couldn't stop hyping Caitlin up. To her, Clark refusing to wear the Colts jersey was real, bold, and incredible. And honestly, she's right. It was such a small thing, but in a league where everyone's expected to play nice and follow the PR script, that kind of authenticity stands out. Sophie even admitted it was her favorite moment of the week, half joking, half serious, and pointed out that the fact Caitlin didn't cave made it even better. And that's exactly why fans love both of them. Caitlin Clark is unapologetically herself. Sophie Cunningham is unapologetically loud. So, when one outspoken player recognizes another, it's a rare bit of mutual respect that fans actually enjoy watching. But that was just the beginning. Sophie didn't stop there. She dug into her own recent controversies, especially the time she cussed out WNBA leadership and got fined for it. Remember when she went on a rant saying league executives don't know anything about basketball? Yeah, that one. Well, in this interview, Sophie basically said, yeah, I said it. And no, I'm not taking it back. She broke it down perfectly. I'm not going back on what I said, but maybe how I said it could have been better. Then she laughed and added, I might have been a little harsh, but that's just me. It's so Sophie, half apology, half mic drop. She even explained how people twist her words when she cusses. Her exact quote, when I cuss, people think I'm uneducated. But I do know what I'm talking about, I just cuss. And honestly, fair point. That passion is her whole brand. When the host asked if she regretted the comments about Kathy Engelbert or the league office, Sophie didn't hesitate. No, I meant every word. Maybe I shouldn't have cussed, but I meant it. That's the kind of blunt honesty fans wish more players had.
No excels. No PR filter.
Just the truth. And once again, without even trying, she ended up defending Caitlin Clark. When asked if she's been watching the WNBA finals, Sophie flat out said, hell no, I haven't watched a lick of the WNBA. I'm on a break. Then she shrugged. Good luck to whoever wins, I honestly don't care. Before people twist that, Sophie explained it perfectly. After a season full of injuries, drama, and nonstop chaos, she needed to unplug. And that's something a lot of players feel but never admit. She said when you're living it every day, practices, games, heartbreaks, you need space. Watching the finals right after losing? That's painful. So, when Sophie called it a WNBA cleanse, it wasn't shade. It was burnout. And honestly, who can blame her? In the meantime, she's been relaxing, spending time with family, and tossing in those sarcastic one-liners fans love. She joked, I'm booking vacations. I'm over it. There's drama, but I'm done. And then, classic Sophie, she pivoted mid-conversation. Let's talk about fashion instead. Only she could transition from league finds to peak coats and Christmas trips in the same breath. But let's rewind to that Caitlin Clark jersey moment, because Sophie thought it was more than funny. She thought it was powerful. She said it showed Caitlin knows exactly who she is and isn't trying to please everyone. In a league where players are expected to smile, be polished, and say the right thing, that kind of authenticity is rare. And she's not wrong. That short clip of Caitlin holding the jersey was one of the most shared WNBA posts of the week. Confidence without saying a word. Sophie called it awesome. Fans agreed. And the truth is, Caitlin Clark could have gone the usual PR route. Throw on the jersey, flash a smile, but she didn't. She politely stood her ground. And that's why Sophie relates to her. Neither of them fakes it. Neither of them bends for approval. Later in the interview, Sophie admitted being outspoken has consequences. She said she feels like she represents players who can't say certain things, so she takes that responsibility seriously. I represent a lot of people who don't say stuff, so I want to make sure I say it right. That's rare self-awareness. She knows her voice carries weight, not just for her, but for players who can't afford fines or lost sponsorships. And then came another headline moment. Sophie doubled down on her belief that WNBA execs don't know basketball. She said, they might be good business people, but they don't know basketball. The first time she said it, social media exploded. Now, she's standing firm. No backtracking. No apology. Just her truth. That's why fans follow Sophie. She says out loud what others only whisper. And even when she's controversial, she's still oddly charming. Country girl honesty mixed with don't mess with me energy. She can cuss, laugh, drop a truth bomb, then pivot to talking about horses like nothing happened. That's her magic. Near the end, she circled back to Caitlin Clark again. You can tell she genuinely respects her. She sees how the league constantly uses Caitlin's name for headlines, and you can feel Sophie's frustration. She's basically saying, let the players breathe. Let Caitlin just be Caitlin. And here's the bigger picture. Both of them share something rare. They refuse to fake it. That's why fans connect to them. In a league obsessed with image, they're just real. To be why the time the interview wrapped, Sophie had touched on everything. League controversies, burnout, baby fever, fashion, rehab, and yes, Caitlin Clark. She even joked about ditching her leg cast early, laughing. I'm not patient.
Say less.
Classic. But the most important line came when she was asked if she regretted being so blunt. Sophie paused, then said, "No. I'm proud of speaking up. Someone has to." And that right there is Sophie Cunningham in one sentence. Loud, bold, sometimes messy, but always real. She's not just filling headlines, she's keeping the league interesting. Because honestly, who else could hype up Caitlin Clark, roast league execs, and still make you laugh about peacoats in the same interview?